Mental health. If we as humans were not equipped with emotional ability, we would perform according to what is possible for us genetically, supported by the competences we have learned and also how much we have trained these competences. This means 100% compared to the abilities we have right now. However, we have as humans an extra burden to bear. The mental picture of what we think we can do can either support us or impede us in our efforts to perform the 100% we're able to. For instance, I cannot do it. I'm not as good as others. I'm not strong enough. I'm not going to make it even halfway. I do not know anything about this. It looks very difficult to me. I'm not capable. I do not believe that I'm allowed to. Others might probably not like me to do this. I have never been able to, and I cannot do it now. I am not clever enough. I cannot make a public speech. I cannot run. The performance of a human being is given by three factors: genetic abilities, which means heritage and environment; competences, which means that which I know I can; and convictions, which is that which I believe I can or can't achieve. Genetic abilities, including the hereditary parts that cannot be influenced that easily, is the platform that can be built upon. One of the building blocks which can be influenced is adding and training new competences. These are divided into physics, techniques, and tactics. Physics is, how much have I trained for what I want to do? Technique is, how do I do what I want to do? Tactics is, how do I do what I want to do in the smartest way? The item physics consists of three important elements, which are restitution, nutrition, and exercise. The body and brain need restitution to be high-performing and dependable. This means that we're not able to work 24/7 or get too little sleep and still deliver high-speed productivity. The body and brain will one day react and decrease performance. It is more effective to focus on producing when we need to and recovering when we need to. The body and brain also need correct nutrition during the day, in order to ensure that the blood sugar is at a good level. The fast version of nutrition is 3 healthy main meals, healthy snacks in between main meals, and plenty of water during the day. In the world of sports, physics equals physical exercise, meaning training your muscles. In the business world, there are different muscles to be trained. For instance, to change the oil in a car, selling a product, to handle a conflict in kindergarten, and to store goods on shelves. The more we train, the faster we become. In the business world, we of course also need to exercise our body to stay fit and to strengthen the immune system. New learning and training of the new learning helps us to embark on new tasks and or provide even better results in the task we already do. With the genetic abilities and skills we have learned and trained, we should be able to provide 100% of what we can really manage. Our courage and belief in ourselves can, to a greater or lesser degree, hold us back in exploiting our full potential, even if we have the ability. In the world of sports, it has been well known for a long time that motivation and courage differs among various athletes. Two athletes who are equally strong when training can be far different in competitions. Mental trainers for athletes are not a new phenomenon, but have been known for decades, and results speak for themselves. There's no greater difference between the motivation and the courage you need to have in sport and in business when you want to be the best. Athletes have mental trainers while training. That is when mental motivation and mental courage are trained to be able to deliver 100% when it really counts. There's just as much need to train mental courage and motivation at work, and also in daily life. This is where the manager's feedback is important. What is it that the manager has seen, experienced, heard that the employee is good at, and must be recognized and appreciated and praised and celebrated for? What is it that the manager has seen which the employee can practice in order to be even better? The manager can influence the inner work-life balance of employees, and that influence is crucial when building strong foundations for large houses. The opposite is digging holes under the house, which weakens the foundation. A mental trainer in sports can also be called a cheerleader, who celebrates athletes' performance, and also the smaller steps taken. The more cheerleading we have in our daily life, the more we want to make a difference, and the more we dare. Cheerleading must still be based on personal motivation. An example of how not to celebrate a conqueror who is passionate about changing the world can be, "You're just so good at cleaning up at the store. It is far cleaner than when the others are doing it." It is just not spot on, since it does not give any personal value according to what motivates a conqueror. Enter the leadership path, lead and manage people, to learn more about what motivates different profiles. Leaders are often mistakenly thinking that a mental blockage is an expression of a fact that the employee does not care about succeeding in what they do. In fact, people generally want to deliver their best, and it is perhaps all about believing whether or not you will succeed and having the courage to try. If a manager's starting point is that the employees would like to do their best, then it will become easier to ask the question, what is holding you back? The answer to this question gives the manager something to work with. Recognition and appreciation of the smaller steps taken in the right direction are important until the belief has changed from I cannot to I can. When the manager observes his or her employee and is able to contribute to the employee's development, it is useful to observe and focus on what can be developed and at what speed the employee is able to develop. When categorizing the development in physics, techniques, tactics, and mental, it gives a more targeted effort for the manager. Is it necessary to increase training? Is it a greater understanding of the task that is needed? Is it how to deal with the task in the smartest way? Or is it the courage that needs to increase? Perhaps it is only one of the 4 elements that is needed to focus on, and maybe it is a combination of several. Splitting the development into elements may make it easier for the manager to choose when supporting the employee in becoming even more capable. Here are examples of genetic abilities and the 4 development elements. Genetic abilities. Peter is a carpenter in a large company. He is strong and is able to carry heavy loads. However, he has inherited a bone deficiency, which means that within a few years he must give up lifting heavy loads. This also means that he must work in a different way in the future. Physics. Paula is working in an insurance company and has worked with a new task for 1 month now. She is still not as fast as the others in the office, since she has not yet trained enough and thus has not obtained the necessary routines. Techniques. Patricia is a nurse and has recently been given more tasks of which the doctor has done previously. Patricia has been a nurse for 15 years and is regarded as extremely competent. She must, however, currently spend a lot of time learning the new task. Tactics. Paul is a project manager and has difficulties in getting the project participants to work together. There are often smaller conflicts which are difficult to solve. Paul is interested in how he can improve working with each project member's motivation. He needs guidance on how he can build upon the different members' motivation. Mental. Mark is selling household items to retailers. He does not have the courage to call potential customers because he feels as if he is intruding. He would prefer if the customers called him and orders what they need. Therefore, he uses a lot of time ensuring that he gets a nice brochure which he can send out to customers instead of calling them. Restitution. Mona is very conscientious and would like to make everything perfect. That is why every day she brings home work which she does during the evenings. She gets too little sleep and is not rested in the morning when she goes to work. Nutrition. Matt is traveling a lot during the week and he often spends the night at a hotel. This means that he usually eats fast food at night and no proper food during the day. He's not exercising either, since he is too tired after spending long days in the company of customers. There is a possibility for the manager to support all 7 employees. Paula must train more, Patricia has to learn the new task, Paul must approach his project work in a more tactical way, and Mark needs support in discovering that he can actually make a difference for his customers and that they will be happy for his call. Mona needs help to decrease the level of ambition and distinguish between work and leisure, and Matt needs help to live a healthier life when traveling. The manager is of course not able to fix Peter's load, but he can help Peter find other ways of working so that he does not carry so much. A mental picture of ourselves is created based on what we want and what we think we can do. In addition, it is also influenced by the culture we are part of and what we experience we are expected to do and allowed to do. The manager has a great responsibility for the culture in which the employee is working. The manager can either choose to encourage the focus on progress or the focus on blame. When the manager has focus on progress, the culture will encourage creativity, innovation, and taking chances. Focus is directed towards new opportunities and successes and/or targeted towards being successful at present. When the manager has focus on blame, it supports a culture of placing blame and responsibility and constant control. Focus in the past is to locate mistakes and at the present moment to avoid making mistakes. There is a difference between focusing in the past or in the future. When focus is on the past, it can either be to observe what happened or is happening right now, to be able to learn from the successes. It can also be targeted to find evidence of guilt in order to blame the guilty one. A blame culture is more than often carried by the hierarchy, where the manager either monitors all that is happening at the moment or is waiting for the employee to fail to be able to place the blame. When focus is on the future, it can either be to create awareness and focus on what is happening at the moment and what will happen later. It can also be an attempt to control the future. Here are two different examples of how two cultures can affect mental health. Example 1. Focus is on mistakes and blame. The surgeon is about to conduct heart surgery and the head surgeon is present. Before the surgery takes place, the head surgeon calls the surgeon in for a talk. He starts by reminding the surgeon that he has not done as many operations as him. He also reminds him of exercises during training where the surgeon did not perform perfectly. He mentions that it will be difficult and that he does not have the full confidence that the surgeon will succeed. During the operation, the head surgeon interrupts to point out a wrong position, a too slow command to the nurse, and a wrong way of placing the light. The surgeon finds it difficult to focus and concentrate on the task. Example 2. Focus is on strengths and successes. The surgeon is about to conduct heart surgery and the head surgeon is present. Before the surgery takes place, the head surgeon calls the surgeon in for a talk. He reminds him of the operations which have been successful and tells the surgeon about the strengths which he has observed. He says that he is confident that the surgeon will be successful in the upcoming operation. The head surgeon asks the surgeon to go through the steps in the operation with him before the operation takes place. The head surgeon corrects a few things to make the process even better and recognizes and appreciates the surgeon for a well-prepared operation. During the operation, the head surgeon is cheering with expressions like "beautiful" and "excellent" and urges the surgeon to explain the next step in the operation. The surgeon has full focus on the task and control over the process. Which of the surgeons would you prefer to do your heart surgery?